Hey Natalie, how are you?
Hey Scotty, doing great. How about yourself? Where have you been?
Good, good. It's good to see you. Where you been lately?
Ooh, Seattle. So mountainous, lots of
Seattle,
snowy
yeah.
weather up top and just nice breezy down below.
Yep, me too. I was in Park City and Vail this
Oh
week.
wow.
Um, and here's the crazy thing. You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask you about where you've been.
Ooh,
But
okay.
I went to test drive the Rivian R2, which loved,
Ooh.
loved, loved. And did not know that my next trip, which was to go and test out vehicles using the BFGoodrich Trail-Terrain TA Plus tire, is the tire that the R2 comes with. Go figure. Who knew? So I was pretty excited to hear that and see that and know that actually I'd been writing on this tire quite a bit and evaluating the car is we don't usually evaluate the tire, and
Right.
so I was really excited to spend a full day evaluating these tires. But before we get to our conversation with our guest, tell me what you were doing in Seattle.
Wow, so I was checking out the first ever Ford Bronco Filson. So rugged Ford Bronco, we love that. Going over any type of terrain, right? Goat mode. But with Filson, what's really cool is that it's like the outerwear that you would wear on, outdoor exploring, whether it's fly fishing or hiking, that is very versatile and durable, which totally goes with Ford Bronco. So I was really excited to see that and those meaty tires.
Yeah, and that looked like such a cool partnership.
Oh yeah.
I love the Filson design aesthetic. It's not only rugged, but it is designed to last a million years. So, or not a
Right.
million, but designed to last. And we look at these vintage Broncos that hit the market, whether they're car shows and auctions or they're resto mods. Clearly, they're designed to go the distance too. What was your favorite part of that collaboration?
Well, I love the being able to feel the textures in person and seeing, behind the scenes at Filson with like their design process, whether that is for the vest or the jacket, right? And then being able to see the texture inside of the Ford Bronco. It was wild because you're like, wait a minute, that was on a jacket. Now I see that on the accessories inside and the seat, and you're like, what? Like, it's just insane.
I love that they do that. I love that Ford has done some really cool
Oh yeah.
partnerships with fashion brands and other brands. And they just did one with Carhartt. Last year
Yes.
they did one with Alice and Olivia, which was amazing.
Hmm.
I love when they do these things, and I wish they'd do more of them. I really
I
wish they'd
know.
do more of them because I love seeing car design sort of cross the line from automotive into fashion and fashion into automotive. It's
Right.
thing. So, but speaking of design, tell me if this is a job that you ever thought you would hear somebody had. Tire designer,
Yeah, that's definitely new, but I
right?
like
Right? So I had to ask, first of all, I had to ask, what does a tire designer do?
that. Right.
Because there's actually a lot of design in tire, inside and out. If you were to slice a tire open, you'll see, there's steel cables in there and there's other materials that go into it's not just solid rubber or, whatever the composite is that they make these tires of. And then you look at, it used to be I would go to the tire shop and I would look at these tires and I would think, oh, it's this nice soft rubber, and I would touch it and it was like a hockey
Oh,
puck. It's like,
yeah.
and not soft and rubbery, but really hard. And then you think, if you think about a hockey puck, then you think, well, no wonder when you slam on the brakes, the car slides.
Right.
It's not gripping the tire. Then when you like, it's gripping the road when you say you take a walk or you go for a run or something, and you have this thick tread on our sneakers, and you
Mhm.
feel it as it grabs the
Right.
pavement every time you put your foot down. And that's really what your tires should feel like when you're braking or when you're trying to stop quickly. You should feel your tires grabbing the pavement. So there's a lot of design that goes into that. And I hadn't ever really thought about it. I always thought of tread as a functional item, Like
Mhm.
it looks like this because of the job it has to do.
Right.
Little did I know that tire design's actually a job. And I got to meet the woman who designed the tire that we were driving, both in Colorado, but then also in Park City, Utah, when we were driving the Rivian R2. I had no idea that there's a woman named Joni Epting who is charged with making sure that these tires not only do the job that they are supposed to do, but that the design that they take on is what helps them do that job. And it was so cool to sit with her, talk about designing tires.
I love that. Can't wait to hear more.
All right, well, let's go to the conversation with Joni. So this is Joni Epting, and she has one of the coolest jobs in the world, and a job that I am personally thrilled to know there's a woman thinking about this, and it has to do with this right here, this tire that is sitting here between us from BFGoodrich. Hi, Joni.
Hi,
So tell us your title,
I am a product development engineer.
and what kind of product do you develop?
Tires.
Tires.
Yes.
And but what do you specifically do with tires? You know, like do you do like all the innards and everything that's in it, or what's your specific focus?
No, there's a huge team that it takes to put a tire on the road. So my job in particular is once the product category manager determines what consumer he's trying to market to and what they want in a tire, he'll kind of give us like a recipe of sorts, you would say. Like, we need these performances, we need to keep these safety features, and that sort of thing. So then we take the tire, and then there's teams of experts that you pull from to start trying to figure out how are we going to build this tire they want and with those specific features.
And you really focus on design, though.
Mostly, yes.
And what does that mean? What does that entail, design of a tire?
So you're trying to create a model with the particular products that'll hit those performances, the safety and the like wet braking, dry braking, handling, stuff like that. So you're constantly looking at the sculpture, what the products inside the tire will do, sizes, loads, speed ranges, things like that. So you're trying to pull it all together from different resources to build that tire.
So there's some math to this,
There's some math.
but there's some art to it as well.
Yes, there is.
And do you actually get involved in looking at like the tread patterns and the different components that we see on the outside?
You can. This particular tire we called it a refresh. So this was a Trail-Terrain TA, and they decided they wanted to improve some of the performances of the tire. So that's where the Trail-Terrain TA Plus came from. So we already had the sculpture. The consumer liked it, we liked it. It gave us the style, the visual we were looking for. So we kept that. So I didn't have to do anything with the sculpture. So mainly what I did was start working on the inside of the tire. What can we change in products to make it have those different performances? But you do. If you start with a very fresh tire line that's never been developed before, you do get involved. And you work with experts that help you, because each one of these sipes, rain grooves, do something for the tire. You know, whether it helps in wet, whether it helps in snow, they do something for the tire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so outside of what we see on the surface, what kinds of things do you factor into how you help design this tire?
The shape of the tire, the load, let's see what else.
Materials?
We do materials, we do tread materials, that's what you see on the tire.
Right.
But then there's a lot of products inside that you never see that gives it some structural integrity.
Yeah.
So it helps to maintain the shape of the tire, the air, holding in air, things like that you're not really noticing. And so when you're going over, say, a railroad track or something like that, it's absorbing that for you. So there's lots of things inside the tire. You have the bead wire that holds it to your rim. There's lots of things that you're trying to make sure have the strength for the usage that you want this tire to go through.
And so so you said this is a refresh, so this is an updated, you had a Trail-Terrain TA, and this is the Plus.
Yes.
And so what were your goals in redesigning this tire?
So we were looking to maintain all of the safety features we already had. And then we wanted to improve wet performance and improve rolling resistance and wear. And we also needed to maintain the snow performance we already had. So there's a compromise with all of those. You know, sometimes you give a little on, say, wet to get better snow. So you're always trying to manage all of these performances.
And what is when you sit down to work on a tire, a new design or redesigning this one or improving this one, what's the most important factor to you as a person?
It's probably the consumer at first, because we're always developing a tire for our consumer, you know. So it's
for the driver.
Yeah, I'm
person,
sorry.
and the
yes.
people in the car, right?
Yes,
yeah.
the driver.
Yeah.
Because we always want them to be safe. When I am designing a tire, I am thinking about, if my child were to be using this on their vehicle, am I building it the way I'd want for them? So, you know, there's always that incentive that somebody you know and love is going to be riding on these tires. We're always maintaining that integrity of the tire. And then, you know, after that, then you're starting to look at the other performances. So, and then you're trying to determine what you can do to make those performances happen. And since I didn't need to mess with the sculpture, so then you just start working your way inwards. So the next thing we went to was the compound of this tread material. And that's where we got all of our gains in this go-round.
Was by using a different material here. And it's very soft, actually, which is kind of surprising because it is an all-weather tire, but it's a little squishy.
Yes.
And why is that?
Well, you want it to grip the road. So we changed the compound this time, and it gave it a better wet performance. So we used silica, and it kind of changed the texture of the tire slightly, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where even on a cold day, it will grip the road a little bit more than like the hockey puck tires, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think of as like, you go out to your tire and you're like, knock, knock, because it's like so hard in the winter.
Right.
But is there, so you talked about the silica. How is that different from materials that we've seen in tires in the past?
So silica breaks the compromise between those performances. In the past, we've used carbon black in the tread compound, and then this time around, we use silica. And it breaks the compromise for wet and rolling resistance, which has been really hard to do in the past until silica came around. So with silica, I guess for the wet, you can kind of consider it like a sand. It has little biting edges, so it helps the tire grip the road. But also, like in different temperatures, it has different performances. So in snow, it would keep in high temperatures, it would keep the tire from like freezing up, and it still makes it pliable to grip the road, so you maintain that snow performance. And that's where we get like our 3-peak mountain snowflake certification, because you have to hit certain standards to get that.
Right. And you talked about water. These are pretty deep grooves in here. There's the sipes, which I've learned are the little tiny little lines, and then we have these big grooves here. Talk about how the water, because we're always so afraid of hydroplaning, and talk about how this tire addresses water on the road.
So this particular sculpture has a certain footprint on the road when it's rolling. So as you're going through water, you're wanting a rounder footprint, so it kind of like it's not square, so you're not hitting the water like this. You're kind of, you know, rounding it out and kind of get through it. And as you're going through it, those rain grooves will start squishing the water out of the tire, so it maintains contact with the road.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then it also has this like sort of I don't know, fade on the side. I don't really know what to call that. What is the function of that? Like a lot of tires are just very square, and this is not. Why is it designed to be like that?
So this is an on-road tire with a light off-road application. So those features will help you in your light off-road application with gravel or dirt. It helps the gripping, the grass, that kind of thing, wet grass.
Okay, and that's these bigger grooves here. Okay.
Sure enough.
And so last question about this tire.
Okay.
And then I have another question about tires.
Okay.
So on one side it has all the lettering is black but with white outlines.
Yes.
And on this side it's monochrome. It's just all black. Why is that?
So some consumers love the raised white letters out. They just like the appearance on the tire. So they put that on the outboard side. So that's what you see going down the road. But other consumers don't. They just like the black wall. But maybe they want this tire. They want these features, but they don't want the raised white letters. So you can flip it and you can put the letters on the inside because it's not a directional tire. It doesn't have to go only in one direction.
Now, is this, talk about rotation, because I've heard some of these new, especially the all-weather tires, don't need to be rotated as much. What's your recommendation on rotating a tire like this?
I really don't have. I would have to deflect to the dealers for that, but there's a guide on the website that'll give you those.
The rotation schedule?
Yes.
Okay, because that's important.
Yes, it is.
If your alignment isn't perfect and your tires don't wear evenly, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So let's talk about you.
Okay.
Joni, when you were a little girl, did you wake up every morning and say, I hope someday I can be a tire designer?
No, no, I did not.
What did you study in college?
My degree is in chemical engineering.
And why did you choose chemical engineering?
I like chemistry, I like math, and it just piqued my interest, so that's what I did.
And what did you do when you got out of college?
My first job was with a nuclear facility in the area, so I did that for 2 years. And then I decided I needed something different, so I applied for Michelin because it is also in the area I lived in at the time.
And which is South Carolina. Michelin's
Yes,
based in South Carolina.
it is Michelin, and BFG is part of Michelin. So
Right. And so how long have you been at Michelin BFG?
27 years.
And what other jobs have you done there?
Let's see, I first started as a safety engineer, believe it or not. And then after 2 years, I went into quality control. And then after that, I became what they call a quality engineer. And that's where in a plant facility, the industry side, that's where you're actually seeing the tire being made, on equipment, being cured, so that you see this final design. So it's really unique. You get to actually put your hands on the tire and go through the whole process. It was a great experience. I loved that job.
And have you had the opportunity to do like testing on the test track and putting your tire in different cars?
Yes, not so much when you're in the industry setting, but when I came to the other side, the product development engineer side, yes. We actually get to go drive on these tires on the test track. There's also a lot of machine testing, so we machine test it and then you get results, and you're analyzing those to see where you set, your targets at. So things like that. So yeah, we get to do a lot of fun stuff. I get to come to this launch event, so it's great.
What's the favorite part of your job?
Let's see. I think it's just working with so many team members in this job, because even though I'm an individual contributor, so to speak, I work with so many different people, and there are so many great people at Michelin to work with, and there's lots of experts, and everybody's just so willing to help. So it's just been great.
It always comes down to the people,
It
doesn't
does. It really does.
So have there been people in your career who've helped you and maybe coached you to find those next roles?
Yes. Michelin is great about that. We have different, we call them métiers, but it's just like different parts of design in the process. And if you think you want to do something different, we have lots of training classes, and they're always willing to help you close that gap for the next job, get you training, and let you apply for it. You may not get it, you may have to go get more training, but they're always willing to help you to develop and improve and go into the next role.
And do you see a lot of women interested in these roles and jobs at BFGoodrich?
I do. Yeah.
And is there something about this that appeals to you as a woman?
I just love it. I just like the design part. I guess it's just in my brain. I can't say it's a female thing, but we have a lot of females in it because it does take a lot of attention to details and things like that. And there's a lot of science to it, technical aspects, but there's lots of like artsy kind of, you can help design things, and so you can use
creativity.
Yes, there you go. I was looking for my word, but yeah, creativity is a good word.
It's early in the morning, by the way, and it's been a long week. But
so yes,
but yeah, and creativity is not something I would have thought of in the tire world. But when you take the tire off of the car and set it up on this nice stand, you do really see it's kind of a cool thing. What other kinds of tires have you worked on?
One of my first tire lines was the Michelin Excise. So if you've ever had a chance to look at it, its sculpture is very unique. It is really cool. But it's for snow. I mean, it's designed for snow. Of course, it hits all the other standards we have to hit, but it's specifically for snow.
And did you have to seek out some snow and ice to drive it? Because you don't have a lot of that in South Carolina.
Actually, we did. We got to go to one of our test tracks and ride on it and feel it, and the test drivers drove that, though we don't get to drive on the snow. Well, we got to do one course, but yeah, it's very exciting. You get to do a lot of different things. It's nice. It's a nice mix of everything.
Have you worked on off-road tires?
No, I haven't.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We got to off-road in this a little bit yesterday. Have you driven this one on trails and
just
gravel?
The light trails at our test track.
Yeah, it's trail riding is fun.
Yes,
it's tell me what you drive.
Me, I drive a Toyota RAV4.
A Toyota RAV4. Do you ever take it on the trails?
Gravel roads, dirt roads, kind of things, like if we're trying to get somewhere, fishing, that kind of thing. I don't do any rock crawling or anything like that with it. No.
And it's so what's your advice to somebody who has a car like a Toyota RAV4 and mostly drives on the street, commutes to school, shopping, work, that kind of thing, but occasionally may find themselves driving down to a boat launch? What should they be thinking about when they're making their tire purchase decision?
Well, first, their usage and what the tire's for. Like, this is strictly for the light off-road, so it's perfect for that sort of thing. But if you think you're going to be using it for, aggressive off-road, you need a different tire. If you're 100%, you're never going to, go off concrete. We have other tires for those performances. So you need to know your usage first, and then start dwindling it down from there.
Yeah. It's hard because you get messages from other places, put this tire in your car and then you can go off-road, and you may never.
I know BFG has a very good website where they identify I think there's like 5 or 6 tires in their lineup that they'll tell you which each one of them's usage is for. Pay attention to that. Go research it a little bit, and it'll help narrow it down for you.
A lot of that is the same information that you use when you're designing a tire, right? Looking at those very specific details.
Yes, for sure.
So a lot of the information that the company is offering to consumers on the website is the same information that Joni's using to design these tires.
Yes.
So let's go back to the career discussion. So you've had this amazing career at Michelin BFGoodrich. What advice do you have for young people, especially women, who were thinking, work for a tire company? Why would you want to work for a tire company?
I've just found it interesting, and they have so many jobs. I guess the best thing is you're never stuck in one job. So even if you come to work for the tire company, you find yourself in a job you may not like. There's so many things that go into making a tire. It's unbelievable. Like, we have our marketing people, we have the PR people, we have the people that deal directly with the tire, we have our sales for, there is from one end to the other that you can work for. And they help develop you, and they'll get you there. If you're dedicated and you want to get there, they'll work with you. And they've just been really good to me, and I've just never been bored, never. I've enjoyed every job I've done at Michelin.
So you're a mom.
Yes.
You have 3 kids.
I do.
So, and you've worked for Michelin most of their lives, right? What do you want your kids to take away from your career?
Well, first of all, I just want them to be happy. So find a job that makes you happy so that it's not, the old saying, I'm not working, I enjoy my job kind of thing. But I do. If you're happy to go to work and you enjoy it, it fulfills you and it makes you a better person on the outside as well. So you're happy with your kids, and I just want them to see that. I don't want them to ever feel stuck in a job they're not happy with. I don't ever want them to take a job that they think they're doing it to please me. I just want them to focus on themselves. And they've each done something different from me. None of them have gone in this direction, which is fine. But we do have like mentor programs. So the young ladies coming in out of college, we mentor them, and I treat them like my children, because they're younger and they're like my kids. And, it's just fun giving them advice and helping guiding them and stuff like that. So, yeah.
That's amazing. It's just so rewarding to see that this thing is designed and built by someone like Joni, who brings compassion and care and science and technology and chemistry to make our lives better. Because I will confess, tires are something that we don't really think about a lot until we have to.
Yes, that's
right?
correct.
Right?
That is.
Yeah.
It's
and
true.
it can be a tough decision to buy the right tire. It can be a very confusing journey.
It is.
So, well, thank you so much for
You're welcome.
spending time with us here this week as we test drove the new Trail-Terrain TA Plus tire. That's a mouthful, I'm going to say. I think I said that a lot this week. But congratulations on your new tire and all the improvements.
I appreciate it, Scotty.
Thanks, Joni.
Wow. What was your biggest takeaway? Because there's a lot with the tires.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway was that no matter where you're from and what your interests are, you can do something cool like this. I grew up actually not far from where she lives, and I never would have imagined that being a tire designer for an international company that builds tires for everything from, heavy equipment to motorcycles and bicycles would be a job that you could have. And I would never think that a degree in chemical engineering would be something I would take to design.
Right.
Like I would think a degree in chemical engineering, I would never be able to design anything. Maybe design a formula, but not a tire. But listening to her talk about the sculpture and listening to her talk about the process and listening to her talk about what's meaningful to her, which of course is the safety of her family, that kind of brought it all home for me. They talk about this, the only thing between you and the road is that small patch of rubber on your tires, the patch that's touching the ground.
Right.
And so I think about that and I'm like, well, okay, don't scare me too much because I spend a lot of time driving and the tires always seem to do their job, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like, yeah, that's true, but it's not that meaningful to me. But to hear her say when she sits down to design a tire, what matters to her is the safety of her family.
Aww.
Makes me think, okay, she wants her family to be safe. I'm going with her.
Yeah, she gets it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Natalie, for all your help and for joining me here for What Drives Her, the podcast from A Girl's Guide to Cars. I'm Scotty Reese, your host, Natalie Marola, our co-host and producer. Our editor is Steph Howard. Our music is by Avado Elements. Get our podcast wherever you get your podcast. And please join us again for What Drives Her, the podcast from A Girl's Guide to Cars.